Kickstarter currently though, so a little bit of work into that we can show off, I think. I was getting it up. Yeah, I'm Blair. Like Carl said, I'm an OG of VR, I guess, like from this wave anyway. Ran a successful Kickstarter for a game called Technolust in 13, 14, I ran the Kickstarter. It's a launch title for the Rift, and it was a touch launch title for Oculus as well. This new game is in the same universe as Technolust, but should work for every VR headset, every PC VR headset. Toggles. So yeah, it's a cyberpunk adventure, open world. The first game was kind of a learning process for me. I've worked in video games since I was like 17. That's like a lot of years ago. But didn't really, there was a gap of about 15 years between working at Rockstar Games and the rebirth of VR, where I came back. So Technolust, I'd never even heard of Unity or Unreal before I started development on it. Thanks to DK1 coming with free keys to both of those. Okay, Carl, you can just, maybe just play it like that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Doesn't like he's stepping on that cord. Oh my god. Yeah, I think it's, yeah.
The Kickstarter's going up. It's almost successful. By the time we get it from
Oh, it is successful. So I don't know what the prices are in American, but I went for 60,000 Canadian, and we're already at, I think it was like 93,000 last time I checked, with 7 days to go. So I mean, it's not a lot to make such an ambitious game, but I mean, we'll try. Some of the people that I work with are here. I think Mark Strand, who does code for me. I have to be able to pay him and stay alive. So, I mean, it's not a ton of money. I feel like I need to show you guys a video. Go on, Carl. No pressure. Okay. Just drag that off. Oh my god.
Like once it gets past 50%.
Yeah.
I show half the video.
Anyway, it's called Lo-Fi. You can find it on Kickstarter. I'd appreciate it if you did. Yeah, I give development build access right away once the campaign is over. So there's a little risk to the. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, come to me. I'll give you the link. Got these floppy disks with the QR code on it. If you wanna scan that, I don't know if does this one scan on it? No, that's okay. No, yeah, I thought I'm gonna literally sit down Oculus Connect. There's a couple laying around in here already. If you know where to look. You're in that place where I left that thing that time. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it's just better if kind of like how's that happen compared to these ones?
Someone's in there.
Things about Kickstarter, about VR development in general. Yeah, okay, so we set up some stretch goals early on. Like I said, it's like a. Oh, just play it off. It's the same as the time I need to talk today. It's like 5 minutes. Shame for you guys.
We're in the cyberpunk dream of slipping a headset on and stepping into full reality. Like demos and mini games, so we want VR we were promised. VR we deserve. It's my sincere pleasure to bring you my dream of something I've been imagining since I was a child. The reason I started my career as a game developer over 23 years ago, a deep, immersive virtual world where you are truly free to play the way that you want. Enter Lo-Fi, the spiritual successor to Technoless, a deep, open-world sandbox experience for Steam VR, Oculus Home, and Windows mixed reality headsets. More holodeck than game. You are Lo-Fi, a street name given to those who cannot merge with the platform, the ubiquitous virtual reality simulation where most of the population now live their lives. That is recently transferred to a particularly prime of City Block 303. The only inhabitants of note in your jurisdiction are other Lo-Fi and human intelligence or below artificial life forms that have remained among the citizens after the AI singularity. The Lo-Fi world is already massive, many detailed and lived-in locations to explore. You can patrol the skies of City Block 303 and walk the streets from New Kowloon to the seedy downtown club district. But we need your help to take it to the next level. In the last 6 years, we've learned a lot about VR. From comfortable locomotion methods to what make VR interactions. We're applying all of that to Lo-Fi. We'll be supporting all of the major PC VR headsets and control schemes, including OTOS controllers for flight sim enthusiasts and the latest high-end hardware like the Valve Index. We've gathered an all-star team of developers, artists, and writers from the VR world to help bring this dream to reality. Like you, we can hire top talent in things like voice acting, animation, and music. It's time to bring VR to the next level.
Like I said, it's like a adventure game. I stood up too fast. Hold on a second. I'm gonna faint. Okay, no, I'm okay. I have this kind of like philosophy about VR, about it being kind of, I don't like fail states. I don't like frustrating mechanics and puzzles. These are things that I've kind of realized over the past 6 years or so. So I'm trying to make Lo-Fi more like a holodeck program, right? Like you never saw anyone on Star Trek walk out of the holodeck and flip a table and like be mad about being frustrated in the experience, right? And that's a killer in VR. As soon as somebody takes off the headset frustrated, the chances of them going back into the same experience are pretty much zero. Like we play everything for like 40 minutes tops and then never come back. So I'm trying to just kind of flesh out the world with things for people to do that are engaging but not frustrating. So that's what Lo-Fi is. To John's question, the stretch goals we've already reached were, what was it? Oh, we got Gunship, which is a popular new retro synthwave band. Synthwave? I don't know what they call themselves. It's like anyway, they do like kind of new retro music. We got them on board to do a custom album, an EP based on Lo-Fi, And then we unlocked the Wastelands, which is like kind of like a lawless, more action-oriented area where it's just like you're not. I should probably explain a little bit of the story. You're a cop in this world, but you're like a sheriff in like the lawless world of the people that are left after the kind of VR revolution and an AI singularity. So all of the really smart AI have walled themselves off and have disappeared, and all of the good majority of the humans are jacked into VR in their apartments and no one ever sees them. You're a cop in this world where you're only dealing with the people that can't jack into this VR simulation and the like subhuman intelligence robots. So the Wastelands is an area where it's like there's still people that are just kind of don't want any part of that world. They're going to be like scavengers and kind of living on their own, but it's more of like a Wild West thing, and you're the sheriff. Next stretch goal is, I think I heard somebody cheer at seeing the wolf that you could pet. I want the next stretch goal is going to be a companion wolf, cyber wolf, who will kind of go on your adventures with you and solve crimes. Yeah, that's about it. So we're at, like I said, 93,000 Canadian. One of the backers backed for 13,000 and could just drop out at the last minute, which is a little bit scary. Like, it sounds like a lot of money, and it is kind of for one person. But when you consider, what a AAA game costs to make, it's not a lot of money. It's basically enough to keep me from dying and to be able to give some money to Mark and Nick to help me out when I need it. But yeah.
You're like we're both from Canada,
yeah.
And you've raised 90,000 Canadian. I'm curious if you're exploring CMF or with Telefilm.
Right. So the question's about Canadian funding, like Canadian government grant. The answer is no. I'm really kind of against the Canadian grant system because what ends up happening is you're working for the government, basically. A lot of those loan or grants you have to pay back if the project's successful or like profitable.
You say most, but it's all.
No, it's not all, but it's like this is mine. This is my baby. I've seen so many companies end up on this government grant treadmill. I just don't want it. I don't care. It's not really about the money. It's about I want to make my baby. I want to give birth to it. And if money comes, that's great. Like I think that's how it should be. Yeah, Nima.
Why do you hate Vive users? I'm just kidding. Alright, so obviously Technology was amazing. I loved how many different types of gameplay elements it had, but I also loved that there was like a linear story that you went through, and there was like a way to complete it before you had like all the things that you could play with on the side.
Right.
Everything I've heard you talk about is generally just these multitude gameplay mechanics.
Yeah.
Is there still going to be a thread, and will people who play enough feel a sense of completion in this world?
Yeah. So this is the question was about like an overarching narrative through the world, and so yes, there are big narratives in the world, but it's not that you are the chosen one and you can complete the overarching quest, right? It's that these are the crazy things that are going on in the world. Like what are the AI up to in the walled off section of the city? What is happening on the platform that everyone's jacked into in VR? Like you can pursue those and further those narratives, but it's not like to finish the game. You're not like I said, like the chosen one. It's not the hero's journey about you. It's like a holodeck program. Like you see when Picard went into the holodeck, he wanted to be in a noir detective fiction, and that's the narrative. But it's not like he finishes the game, right? It's like, oh, somebody comes in, they've got a quest they want him to do, right? It's like a lot of side quests as opposed to kind of, because I hate that in things like Skyrim or something where I do the main story quest without even realizing it and closing things off behind me, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. I want to live in this world and like get rid of the main story quest. I don't want it to end. I want it to just kind of keep going. I want to hit on the Vive thing too. He made a joke saying, why do you hate Vive users? Technolust was, like I said, started in like late 2013. So Vive didn't even exist for 3 years. It wasn't even announced for 3 years. Maybe 2 years. But I have a lot of users that back Technolust now mad at me that Technolust wasn't a Vive game, but I'm just like one guy in my living room in his underpants, and I'm like, I just never got around to porting it. It wasn't worth the energy at the time. I'd rather go into something new. So yeah.
Will you keep adding content?
This is something I'm not sure about. Like, that's kind of what I'm doing, continually adding content, because I give people access to the game right away. That's basically what they get. They get this like kind of, here's the base world, and then they can continue playing it as I'm adding content. Whether I continue that past like the retail launch, I'm not sure. That's been successful for a few people, like Anton with horseshoes and hand grenades. He's kind of doing that kind of, I don't even know what you call that. It's not really games as a service, but yeah, it's like a perpetually beta game. I don't know. We'll see if it comes to that. If a year from now I still haven't like produced a retail game, then yes. Yes, I'll keep at it. Yeah. It's good. Nothing. Oh, yep. Yeah.
How do you get that level of polish as just mostly a one-person game?
It's Unity Asset Store and a good eye for. I did a talk for. There's a thing in Canada called FITC. It's like it's kind of like a TED Talks thing, but for more kind of technical stuff and art. I did a talk called Kit Bashing the Future about how you can just gather all these assets and bash them together. This is how they've done sci-fi movies for forever, right? Like the Borg ship from Star Trek is like the bits left over from model kits. The lightsaber is flashbulb and plumbing parts put together. You can do the same with a world in a video game. That you get developers that are kind of like frown on that and say like, oh, well, you didn't build that from scratch. But when you shoot a movie, you don't build the city from scratch. You find a city, you dress it, you color it, and light it, and make it the way you want. So I think that's one of my kind of strong points as an art director, is being able to kind of. I mean, there's custom assets as well, but that's the answer to your question, is how I can do it as one person. It's not just the asset store. There's lots of resources like Turbo Squid and all these places you can get really high-end professional models and cheap artists as well. You can find passionate artists.
So you talk a lot about lo-fi being like primarily like a narrative or like a world that you go into, but will the players still need like dexterous skills? Like what are the other mechanics that are primary?
Yeah, no. So that's like there's no fail states. You can't die. As far as how dexterous you need to be, that's up to you. So like there's the sections where you're flying over the city. There'll be missions in there, kind of like regular police patrol missions. You might get a call over the radio that someone's robbed a bank or something and they're flying away. You can choose not to even do that if you don't want to. You're the boss, you're the sheriff. So it's up to you whether you pursue that. But I mean, it's a good way to make money, right? But I always want kind of a way around any sort of violence. Like there's no reason that you have to shoot somebody. I mean, you're always gonna have that choice. But at the same time, I want to have places where people who are really into that can take care of that. In Technolust, I had an arcade where you could go in and jack into virtual games, and there were like mini games, and most of them were like really hand-eye coordinated, like oriented, like really fast, kind of endless runner stuff. I want to have those things for people to do. But like, that should be up to you, right? That's the dream of the holodeck. Is like, I'm going in here. I found this kind of world that I want to be in, be it like a 20s noir detective thing, or like, I guess they were all kind of in that era. What did Riker like to go to, like a jazz club in like the 30s, I guess.
Some like Renaissance stuff.
Yeah, some Renaissance stuff. Yeah, Barkley did some weird stuff with like. I'm not doing that. You can't scan your friends and bring them in and make them do weird things. Yeah.
Is there any character ability or weapon progression?
Oh yeah. So I want to do a big part of it is money. So I want to always have rewards for the player. So we're gonna try to do kind of like a procedural market where you can go to the shop and they might have like, oh, this crazy gun that's just kind of like randomly generated. But I mean that's another big thing in VR is like having tangible things that you can have and they feel like they have more value, because it's like, okay, I worked really hard patrolling all day, or like playing in the casino and I won. Now I have 50,000 credits. I want to go to the store and buy something that like makes me feel good, right? And that's something that keeps people coming back as well. So yeah, I want to have like upgrades for the guns. We already have upgrades for the ships that work fine. And down the road maybe other ships, other weapon mechanics. I have a katana in there that I really want to use, like a lightsaber kind of thing. Yeah.
Projected timeline to completion and which aspect of development
Well, we're aiming for end of next year. So said tentatively like December next year. What aspect do I spend my time on? I'm kind of, because I'm doing a lot of it myself, I'm kind of all over the place. The part I like spending the most time on is doing just environments. I like to just like, I get an idea in my head or I hear like a cool song and I'm like, oh, makes me think of this cool place that I want to be. And I love just building that place, like figuring that out and building that. I mean, I'm pretty fast with that though. I wish I could spend more time doing that and less kind of like, VR is a very finicky thing, like we spent the last like 2 weeks just ironing out bugs with Valve Index versus I was testing mostly on the Rift, right? So it's like, things bog you down and you're like, all of that just so I can go like this. And so it's like, there's what I want to spend my time on and what we do spend our time on, and money, not that Mark costs me any money, he should cost me money, but like, I have to get people to help me with things, right? So, what are you doing, Carl?
Good.
Yeah? Oh. Yeah, go.
So I backed you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You already said thank you. You don't have to.
Okay.
But something's happening in October, which is not that far away.
Yeah. So,
Right? Is that when things start?
yeah, October
Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, sure. So the campaign ends on October 2nd. So as soon as I can, I'm going to gather all of the people that backed at the development build level, and right away they'll have access. I'll put it up on like itch.io. You can put it on Mega for all I care. Just get it out to everyone. And then we'll keep going from there. I mean, I can update that pretty much daily, nightly builds. Some of the other stuff like the music from Gunship, they're going to take a while, so that'll be closer to the end of next year as well. Good. I'm starting to sweat. Good. All right. Good. All right. Thanks, guys. So if you have a VR headset and you support indie developers, which you must, otherwise you wouldn't be here, please just throw me $1 or something. The numbers look good. It makes other people want to back it. Yeah, and I'll give you something for it. That's the whole point, right? Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blair.
At the mere push of a single button, the beautiful shiny button, the jolly candy-like button. Will he hold out, folks? Can he hold out? No, I